Today, let's investigate these questions. What's challenging about reading series? And how can readers tackle these challenges? You might start by recalling some places in your books that felt hard and thinking about why that was. For example, when I read the Divergent series, when I was in the middle of book 2, I was so confused. There were battles going on, plus the decisions about who would lead the community, and all the drama going on with Triss and her friends. It was hard to keep track of so many different storylines. Does that feel familiar? So we might think about something challenging in long stories is keeping track of different plots happening at the same time. Do you think that sounds right? I want you to get your notebook out and think about this with your stories. What has felt especially challenging in your series, or even in other series that you've read or watched before? Pause this teaching video while you jot down at least 2 or 3 ideas. Let's generate a list of ideas. You may have been thinking that series can be hard because there are just so many characters to remember. Or you might be thinking that the hardest thing is just to remember what happened in earlier books or even at the beginning of the book you're in. You may have also noticed that in series, the action sometimes happens in a lot of different settings, and that can be hard, especially when the author doesn't make it clear that you've moved. Now let's try tackling that second inquiry question. How can readers tackle these challenges? You have years worth of reading experiences to draw on. One tip I can give you is to ask yourself, what would you tell a younger kid, maybe a younger sibling of yours, who's having this challenge? You wouldn't just say, try harder or think about it. You'd probably have some specific advice. That's what you want to brainstorm now. We've got 4 big challenges on our chart. I want you to, again, pause the video and go back into your notebook and try to think of ways that you can tackle these as a reader. Pause the video while you do this work. If you're having trouble thinking of what readers could do, think, what would a teacher probably say to you if you had this challenge? Or is there a way that Post-it notes or a notebook could help you with the challenge? There are a lot of things you could do to deal with one challenge that might help you with another challenge. For example, if you're reading Matched, you might have said that you could deal with forgetting events by going back and rereading little bits of the last book, just the really important parts. But if you're reading Hunger Games, that rereading specific parts could also help you keep track of the characters. Almost any book that you're reading could use your notebooks to help you. You might be thinking that you could write a quick timeline to keep track of your plot lines. Or if the setting changes a lot, you might stick a special color Post-it in the book whenever there's a new place. So I jotted down on the chart that you could reread specifics from earlier books when things are confusing, and that you could use Post-its and notebooks to design tracking systems that help hold on to the story. Go back to the lesson platform to start this work in your book. And don't forget to think of what kind of tracking system you'll want to use to keep track of the challenges you come across in your series books.